I told her once, soft and steady, no yelling, no spectacle. If you go to the beach house with him, it's over. She laughed like it was a joke. That was her first mistake. I bought that place the year we married. Pale walls, a balcony that opened to the hush of the sea, the kind of place she used to call forever. I wanted to believe forever. I wanted to believe everything. Small things crept in first. Secretive late-night messages she guarded like a private treasure. A perfume I never bought that lingered in her coat. Quiet laughter over hushed calls while I pretended sleep. It didn't feel like paranoia. It felt like a pattern knitting itself into a fact. One evening, her co-worker's name slipped into conversation like a test. Daniel. She said casually, as if I wouldn't notice the tremor under the syllables. I didn't make a scene. I collected evidence instead. Photos, timestamps, messages, location pins. Patient as someone who knows the only vengeance worth taking requires preparation, not fury. She began to ask for distance. By then I already knew their plan. The beach house, a weekend we were supposed to share. I made a few quiet calls. Daniel was married, 2 children at home, a wife named Elena who had no idea her husband planned a 3-hour drive to betray 2 families at once. I sent Elena the proof, screenshots, maps, messages. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She asked one thing, when and where? The night before they were due, I unlocked the house and moved the rooms like a careful curator. I left our photographs, the seashell she liked, the honeymoon wine glasses where they had always been. Everything stayed, except the fact that I'd invited company. Elena came with her children and Daniel's parents, people who still believed in his decency. We arranged ourselves without drama, each of us a quiet instrument, ready to play the same note at once. Dawn was merciless and bright. I parked out of sight behind the dunes, so my car wouldn't give me away. Around 9, I watched her pull up, laughing in that way that thinks the world belongs at her feet. Daniel followed, hands full of weekend bags, faces full of expectation. They stepped inside. Silence felt like a hell breath. Her intake of air was the first sound. His voice followed mid-sentence, and then a quieter, urgent whisper. Elena, Mom, what is... I entered a few seconds later, composed, measured. Every pair of eyes settled on me. Hers was last. Didn't I tell you? I said, if you came here with him, we're done. She turned to stone. Daniel went white. Elena held up a folder. My folder, thick with everything I'd gathered. The children clung to each other, confused and suddenly knowing too much. Daniel's mother wept. The house that had once echoed with easy laughter filled instead with the small, unavoidable noises of truth being shown. I didn't shout. I didn't touch her. I wanted everyone present to understand that this was not a private collapse, but a public unmasking. She broke down, but not from remorse so much as from the loss of the story she'd been telling herself. Daniel stumbled for words. His wife silenced him before he could mend anything with excuses. She nodded to me once, a look of gratitude passing in silence, grateful for proof instead of rumor. I left before the storm reached full force. Let the consequences unfold in the rooms where decisions had been made. Back home, my lawyer filed the papers. There were no dramatic confrontations, no bargaining, just a systematic disentangling of shared life. Finances divided, accounts separated, traces of her excised. That, to me, was a real revenge, not chaos, but control. 3 months later, she called once. I let it go to voicemail. I saw a photo of Daniel online. His wife had left with the children. He was selling a car to meet obligations. My ex relocated, renting a small apartment, working part-time, telling herself it was a fresh start. But the sea is a stubborn witness. Every time she hears the waves, she'll recall that morning. The house, the faces, the hush. Sometimes I drive by the beach house and stop at the edge of the road. I don't go inside. I watch the surf instead. The tide always returns, but it never brings back what it takes. People tell me revenge won't heal me. Maybe they're right. What it did was restore a balance that had been tipped. That is enough. I warned her. She chose. I was already there when truth arrived, surrounded not by rage, but by those who had a right to see it.